Hi there, my name is Sarah Horn, and I work for the Office of Career Development and Community Engagement here at UWF. I'm a career education coordinator. Today we're going to be discussing some things to take into consideration as you prepare for graduate school. So on the agenda today, we're going to talk about deciding whether graduate school is even the right thing for you to do moving forward, and then if so, selecting the right program, and also some details about your application materials. So let's get started just by talking about whether or not graduate school is the best move for you right now. I work with a lot of students who are pursuing graduate school or professional school, and when they're talking to me about why they want to do this, sometimes they present different reasons for why. So I would categorize some of these reasons as valid reasons to pursue graduate school, and some reasons are a little bit less valid. So looking at the screen on the right, we see a lot of reasons that are pretty valid. It would be worth your while to pursue graduate school if these are the main reasons. So perhaps the career you're pursuing requires an advanced degree, like you're interested in becoming a faculty member, you're interested in becoming a doctor. You're not going to be able to achieve that without pursuing higher education beyond your bachelor's degree. If you're incredibly passionate about the field, even to the point where you might want to be a faculty member one day, like I said, that's also a pretty valid reason to pursue graduate school. If you want to entirely change fields, but you don't want to get another bachelor's degree, that might also be a good reason to pursue graduate school. And finally, if you want to exist or enhance that skill set that you've developed through work or school or some combination of two, that can be another good reason to pursue graduate school. Some less valid reasons for pursuing graduate school is you don't know what career to pursue. So maybe you're graduating with a degree that you're either not excited about, or it's a really broad degree and you're not sure what to do with it. If you're not sure what to pursue for a career, I would also ask you how you know what to pursue in terms of graduate school programs. So that may not be a very good reason to pursue grad school. If you're applying to jobs and you're just not gaining any traction, that can be another reason why some people might consider graduate school, but I would just encourage you to maybe rethink your job search approach. And of course, in our office, we can also help with that. And maybe you just want to spend more time in college because you're enjoying yourself here. I wouldn't recommend staying in graduate school for the reason just to stay in college. Because the bottom line is that grad school is a big commitment. You're going to devote a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of effort to your graduate school pursuit. So I wouldn't recommend pursuing graduate school flippantly for a reason that is maybe a little bit less valid. I'm not saying that you should or should not pursue graduate school. This is not me, saying if you have these reasons or those reasons, you should. It's just I would really recommend taking a moment to reflect on your motivation for pursuing graduate school. So since we've established that grad school really is a big commitment and it may not always be for everybody, let's talk about how to go about choosing the best program. And I'm assuming that you have decided after that slide that grad school is still a good idea for you. The first step to deciding what program is best for you is to first figure out what programs are actually available. To do this, you would just need to do a little bit of research and find out. So one way to do that is to speak to faculty members and mentors in your life, especially faculty who are in the discipline or the field that you're interested in entering one day. They're going to have some experience personally about graduate school, but they're also likely to have some colleagues or some friends in the field that can also help you choose the program that's right for you. You also might learn by networking. You can talk to people, for example, who you know through your network. If you've met somebody at a conference maybe that was raving about their program, you might talk to them. Or if you don't know a lot of people in the field, you can always use online networking sites like LinkedIn to identify professionals in the field and then maybe scope out where they went to school and perhaps even reach out to them and ask for advice on applying to graduate school if they have any recommendations or if they know anybody who might be able to make a recommendation. You can also, of course, use the internet. So a lot of times when I'm working with a student, the first place I go is Google, which doesn't sound terribly sophisticated, but using Google can help you just get an idea of what programs exist in the first place. And then you can use things like websites like US News and World Report. They can give you rankings in terms of programs and specialties and things like that. So you can then whittle it down to more specific resources to deciding what program is best for you. You might also consider attending events and fairs. So one event that I'll give it as an example is our Professional and Graduate School Expo. We host that almost every fall here at UWF, and for the fall of 2020, that event is going to be held virtually, so I would recommend looking at Handshake if you're interested in more information about that. So after doing this step of figuring out what programs are actually available, then it's time to start deciding which programs you want to prioritize for your application. So not every program is created equally. So some things to consider when deciding what program is right for you is to look at the location, the cost, some information about the faculty, including what type of research they produce, what they specialize in. That might help you get an idea of whether or not there's mentorship opportunity there. Financial aid opportunities. So examples of financial aid for graduate school include fellowships, assistantships, and scholarships, maybe even part-time jobs, depending on how demanding your program is. What does the curriculum look like? What types of classes are you going to take? What types of specialties are available? And what are the career outcomes for this program? A lot of times graduate schools will list the career outcomes, including the different job titles that graduates of that program pursue, where they end up, what types of companies they work for. And maybe even salary. So that can help you decide what is going to set you up for the most success. Although I should add the caveat, it's all up to you and how hard you work in graduate school. A degree is not a ticket in most cases to employment. Also, information about what's required of you to be admitted to that program is really important. We'll talk about that in a little bit more depth in a moment. Facilities and resources that are available to you. So do they have really state-of-the-art, high-end research facilities where you can really sink your teeth into a research project, or are they lacking in that area? And what is campus life like? So if you are going to be doing this program in person, which I will add, a lot of programs are available online. However, if you're pursuing something in person, a degree in person, you're going to want to be able to gauge whether the campus life at that institution works for you. Is it something that you're going to be excited about? Or are you going to be interested in getting involved there? All of those types of things are good to consider when weighing your options about what program is best for you. So after you've gotten an idea of what programs are out there and after you've decided what programs are right for you, we're going to have to talk about your applications. So let's talk about that now. Let's start talking about applications first with some tips. So my first tip is to start the application process early. So ideally you would start looking at graduate school options, maybe even as soon as your sophomore year of college, or maybe your junior year of college early on. The best thing to do is to really start early, because you need to do that research and figure out, first of all, what programs exist, second of all, what programs am I interested in, and then really doing that deep research, maybe communicating with admissions, staff at those institutions, or even perhaps doing a campus visit or a campus tour. Those are things that you're going to have to plan out for in advance. So try to keep tabs on that early and start working on that really early. As the application deadlines grow closer, it's also really important to pay close attention to those deadlines, and also to keep straight and organized in your mind what materials are due for each institution. I recommend using something like a spreadsheet, or really any other organizational strategy that works well for you, but being able to lay out what types of information, what types of application materials are due for each program at what time, is really important. I didn't mention this, but another thing you'll have to schedule in advance is admissions exams, which are pretty common for graduate school. So you can't always just take those last minute. And then even if you do take it last minute, sometimes it takes 6 or 8 weeks or maybe even longer for your scores to be processed and delivered to your institution. So ideally, you would start planning for graduate school maybe 2 years in advance. And then lastly, seek assistance if you are really struggling with your grad school application process, or you're feeling overwhelmed. Don't hesitate to reach out to the Office of Career Development and Community Engagement, because like I said, we work with grad school students a lot. You might also consider working closely with one of your faculty members, but just try not to go at it alone if you are struggling with this process. Let us help you. So there are a lot of elements included in those applications, like I mentioned in the last slide. One of the most common things that you'll be asked to provide are exam scores. So there are different exams for different institutions and programs, but most of them are going to require some type of an entrance exam. They're also probably going to require transcripts from your previous institutions that you've attended, a copy of your resume or your curriculum vitae, or which we call CV for short. Some variation of a letter of intent. Not every institution uses that exact verbiage to describe that letter. They might call it a personal statement or a letter of intent's already written there, but there are a lot of ways that institutions use to describe that letter. Additionally, you'll also probably have to provide letters of recommendation from previous faculty or employers to show that they think that you would be well suited for this. And then there are also additionally some fees involved in graduate school applications. Few things that you'll want to keep straight with regard to exams. There are different exams for different disciplines, so pay attention to what exam is most used for your field of interest. Also pay attention to what sections of the exams are required by each institution. Some institutions might require all sections of the exam. Some institutions might only require a portion, so ideally it's best to know what is required of you so you know what to take. And also consider looking at UWF's options for express admission. You can visit the graduate school website on UWF's website, and you can also see what types of programs have that option and what the admissions requirements are for those programs. Really quickly, for your CV or resume, it's really important that it be really clean and error-free. It should be pretty targeted to the field or at least the institution that you are submitting an application to, and it should certainly be professional. If you have any questions about what a CV is or how to write a resume or anything in between, we would love to help. Contact the Office of Career Development and Community Engagement for more information on that. Next, a few quick tips about letters of intent. There's a lot of different ways that institutions describe this. Some people call it a personal statement. Some people call it a letter of purpose or a statement of purpose. There's a lot of words for it, but in general, it's intended for you to express why you're interested in this program and why you're interested in this field of study. If you are answering that question, you're probably on the right track. It should also be somewhat personal, but not overly mushy or personal. Should capture the admission committee's interest. And again, we help students with these all the time. So if you have any questions, reach out to us. The UWF Writing Lab is also a really good resource for this, and I couldn't recommend them highly enough. So let's review a little bit of what we've gone over today. First, it's important to establish whether graduate school is even right for you. I would really encourage reflecting deeply and honestly about why you want to go to graduate school, and consider whether the cost in terms of money, time, and effort are actually worth it when you're deciding what's motivating you to pursue graduate school. Also, do some good research to figure out what the best program is for you. You can talk to faculty members, you can talk to mentors, you can do internet research, you can even talk to the admissions staff and faculty members at the institution you're considering for more information, and you can consult online databases in terms of what schools are best for what specializations. I would also recommend really planning ahead when you're interested in graduate school. It takes a long time to establish all of the documentation and information and knowledge to be able to pursue graduate school successfully. So plan ahead, maybe starting as early as your sophomore or junior year, and always ask for assistance when you need it. The staff at the Career Development Office are really happy to help. I enjoy these appointments and I would be happy to help you. Also consider talking to your faculty members, like I said, and perhaps even the writing lab if you want some assistance with your personal statement. I know they'd be able to help you do a great job with that. So just a little bit of information about the Career Development Office. We can help with resume and CV assistance. We can help with your application letters. We can also help you kind of get organized and strategize that graduate school search. We can help with interview coaching in case you're applying to schools that require interview portions. And we can also help with career planning so that you can establish what you actually want to do if you are interested in graduate school, and a lot more than that. So just a little bit about our department. We're called the Career Development and Community Engagement Office. We offer career coach meetings both on demand in the form of virtual drop-in appointments and virtual scheduled appointments. If you have any interest in meeting with a career coach, please visit Handshake to schedule an appointment. Or if you want to talk to someone, please give us an email at career@uwf.edu. Also pay attention to Handshake for more information on virtual career events, including the Professional and Graduate School Expo. I hope this presentation has been helpful for you, and I've enjoyed talking with you today. Have a great day and good luck.